Welcome to week 9. We've got just one question from last week from none other than Sol Hermelin. He asked, I was wondering, have you ever thought about what could be used as a makeshift mushroom to get started on pommel circles? I love this question because that's exactly what I did when I started my gymnastics training. When I started, I didn't have frequent access to a gymnastics centre, and it was also quite expensive. As you get better at gymnastics, it just becomes easier to find a gym and train there. So when you're starting out, I certainly recommend do what you can to train at home or anywhere, just to get your training up, to get your basics up. For me, this meant training pommel circles in a whole variety of different areas. I trained on a sand filter that we bought specifically to train circles on. I also found a pot in my mum's garden that had a reasonably flat base, so I just flipped it over and trained circles on that. And also at my university, they had these random concrete balls all over the university, which were the round shape, so I could train circles on them. I encourage you to just look around. You'll be able to find something that resembles a mushroom. What you're looking for is about a 1/2 meter width, circular shape, and ideally somewhat flat top. That's all you need. You can start training circles on them. The lower it is to the ground, the harder it will be because you need to stretch more. But you're going to get great progress on that, and it will help you build up towards the pommel horse. Following on from last week's progress, again, I'm limiting my focus to a few specific skills, aiming to achieve them before moving on to my other goals. I am neglecting some goals as a result of this. However, if I were to try to train all the goals at once, I don't think I'd make much progress on any of them, which would be depressing because if I were to finish this series with only achieving 1 or 2 goals, that just wouldn't make me feel good. Whereas if I focus on these select few goals now, achieve them, and then start working on the others, I'll at least have a better success rate and I'll be happier as a result. If you've been admiring the shirt the whole time, I completely understand. You can pick one up yourself. Check out our Kickstarter campaign. There's less than 7 days to go, and we really do need your help to make the series that next level that we're really dreaming about. Due to even more changes at my usual gym, I wasn't able to train there on Monday, so I instead, for the first time ever, trained Monday at Sydney Olympic Park. Olympic Park is a better gym, however, I don't get coached there, so it's not ideal. I started the session with back giants. I've been working on removing the slight knee bend from my tap. The knee bend is getting smaller and smaller, and on these last 2 giants, there was no bend. I'll keep focusing on this until every single giant has straight legs. One other area that I could improve that I wasn't aware of at the time is pulling my shoulders open before coming over the top of the bar. I'm still working on trying to hit the handstand in every front giant. Frustratingly, there hasn't been much progress on this recently. I really just need a faster heel drive over the top. I worked top change on the low bar in preparation for the high bar. Unfortunately, these felt off today, so I didn't attempt any on the high bar itself. Single bar handstands carry over into many different skills, such as parallel bar pivots, and even high bar top change. I now feel like I should be landing the half turn on the floor. Therefore, when training these on the trampoline, I'm expecting to land most of these square and also stick the landing as it gives me so much more height and time. There's still definitely an issue with my half turn as my right shoulder is still lagging behind. You can clearly see the point when it should continue turning with my body, though currently it now stops in a quarter turn, making the whole skill not flow properly. Not feeling any progress on the half turn, I moved on to front layout. I need faster heel drive to land these properly. In this tumble pass, I'm working on increasing the height of my back tuck. Once I feel it's high enough, I'll start throwing back layout. My biggest critique is that I need to open my shoulders and my hips fully in the back tuck. I'm also landing very short out of my round off. Over the last 2 weeks, I felt like my flares were going backwards. I might have been too focused on trying to make each part too perfect before moving on to the next step. Previously, this brought me back to the very first step. Now, I'm trying to get a full flare, and once I've got consecutive flares, then I'll focus on extending more and making them perfect. I now feel like I'm very close to getting one, as the flares have been improving throughout the week. I think I finally understand what my shoulder issue is. It seems like every week I'm thinking it's something different, but essentially I just want to understand what the issue is so that I can understand how long it's going to take to get back to normal, and I guess, what can I do to help it recover faster. I think it's just a simple case of tendinitis of the supraspinatus. Even when I was quite amateur, I understood that I had tendinitis in my elbows because after muscle ups it would really hurt, and then I'd pick up a cup of water and it would really hurt. That's how I sort of realised today that this is tendinitis, because this shoulder, it feels fine, and just if I do that sort of motion, it feels a little bit uncomfortable. Now the thing is, if I keep pulling it in that direction, the discomfort, and it actually just goes away. So if I keep pulling it in that way, the discomfort will pass after about 5 or 10 seconds. And to me that's a clear indication of tendinitis, because I remember my bicep tendinitis from back lever. It would be very uncomfortable, but if I were to stretch it and put pressure on it slowly, then while I had pressure on it, that pain would go away. I imagine it's the same for everyone, but definitely for me, and that's exactly what I'm getting with this shoulder thing now. Tendinitis would also explain why the shoulder has taken so long to get back to normal. It's now been at least 2 months, and it's feeling better, but it's not feeling normal. With the gymnastics centre that I usually train at, I mentioned recently that they've been making a lot of changes that are slightly annoying. So they've changed the time of the training from 4 p.m. to 9 a.m. Also, we've lost our coach. Yeah, it's pretty annoying because I structured this whole 10-week program with the intention of training in the afternoon on those same days every week with my coach. But anyway, hopefully this is good motivation for you guys to adapt to unforeseen changes, and definitely don't let that be an excuse to stop your training. So I'm going to keep pushing hard, doing what I can. So I'm going to get about 4 hours sleep. So it'll be interesting to see how awake I am for tomorrow's session. Man, it was hard to wake up this morning. It was one of those things where my alarm went off, I woke up and I thought, do I really have to go to training? Or should I just keep sleeping? And of course, I had to go to training. It's also a really, really cold morning. Cold winter morning. Which always makes it harder to get out of bed and also to train. But, it's good you don't sweat, so it makes training better like that. Every passing minute I'm feeling more awake and more pumped. So let's see what kind of session we have. I started today with a focus on the swing half turn. My goal is to do this within 45 degrees from handstand. I'm quite pleased with my shape now, in that my feet remain together throughout the whole turn. I now simply need to tap higher and push a little more through my left shoulder to complete the turn.
Toes down here, tap.
In an attempt to just man up and achieve this goal, I tried doing this from a cast for the first time ever. I was really uncomfortable with this, as it was a lot more power than I was used to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's good.
Harry was quite generous with his kind words. This attempt was obviously far from ideal. The main issue was I didn't tap at all. The tap is what gives you the direction in your feet and the rest of your body in the turn. The other major issue was I closed the shoulder of my supporting arm and also bent at the elbow, giving me no control of the bar. I went back to smaller swings to reinforce the feeling of good form before once again casting into it. I had the exact same issue as before on every single attempt.
Ollie. Come on your feet.
I need faster heel drive and more pop out of the vault in order to be ready for the handspring front. I started pommel with this scissor drill, which is becoming more consistent. Still, I expect faster progress as this is a more basic skill. I work this other scissor variation to continue to develop my swing in different positions.
I've officially lost all my clips.
I finished pommel with circles. I'm still working on eliminating the knee bend from the third quarter of the circle. It's so cold this morning. It's like 11 degrees Celsius, I just checked, which is pretty nippy. So this is the second day of these early morning sessions, and it's pretty tough. I'm adjusting to the early wake up. I'm used to sleeping and waking up maybe an hour or two later than I am right now. So yeah, definitely today is better than yesterday because I went to bed a lot earlier. I still wanted to keep sleeping, but you know, it's getting easier. Really wanting to start hitting some goals now because yeah, it's been a few weeks since I recall last achieving a goal, which is a little bit concerning, especially since I have quite a few goals to still achieve. It's still very tough having my whole training schedule changed like this with such little warning. So come on, let's see what we can do. I'm still having the same frustrating issue with my right shoulder lagging behind in these front halves. I'm aware of the issue, though I believe the best solution is to keep throwing the skill over and over until it finally clicks. No, you're not going crazy. The pommel didn't used to be in this position. The gym layout has recently changed, with the pommel and the parallel bars being swapped. I'm staying committed to these same scissor drills as suggested by today's coach. I do feel that recent progress on scissors has been very slow despite my consistent efforts with these drills. Nonetheless, I will remain persistent in striving to improve the extension in all directions. Often, circle training is a numbers game where, when learning them, you just need to train numbers, doing as many as you can in a row. The best way to improve circles is to mix it up between endurance and also perfect form. It's often great to train perfect form on easier progressions, such as the buck or the mushroom. To change things up a little, I worked loops with just one handle. I need much more extension through the shoulders, which is partly limited by my current shoulder mobility. I also need to lean further forward with my shoulders, as I currently fall off the back in my loops every single time. Frustrated with just single loops, I took the handle off, aiming to increase the numbers. Determined to break through these low numbers, I set aside over an hour to focus purely on loops. I was very happy with 5 loops in a row, as this was a new record, though as my goal is to achieve 10, I won't be satisfied until I achieve that. Six loops was over halfway to the 10 loop goal. Now I was confident that the key to achieving 10 was purely determination. got this, man.
I know it's gonna take some time till it all feels right, till we find our way. We're gonna make it to the other side, where the future's bright. We can find a way.
The form of this set was quite dodgy, but I got 10, and that was the goal. I need to keep a much tighter body in these swings to handstand. This changing body shape is less scary, though because it involves more moving parts, it's much more difficult to control, and it makes progressing to more difficult swinging skills almost impossible. A better swing will directly improve my dismount. Looking back, I now realize that the back tuck dismount has limited carryover to the back layout dismount. Instead, I should have been focusing on doing whatever I could to start feeling the layout body shape. So that was a much better session than yesterday. I was way more awake and I warmed up much faster than I did yesterday.
Instead,
so that was sweet.
I should have been doing
I didn't have
whatever I
pre-workout
could
either of the
to start
days.
feeling the back
And that's
layout
just
body
because I
shape.
didn't feel like I needed it, I guess. I did feel a bit tired yesterday, but still. I do like to save pre-workouts for special occasions and not just every time I feel a little bit tired. Yeah, I was very happy with those 10 loops, finally. That was awesome. So I'll work on how many I can do and also the quality of only a few of them. So that was sweet, because I don't know if you can tell, but the last 2 sessions, or maybe even more, have been pretty tough for me. I haven't really been that pumped, and I've had a lot of stuff going on outside of training, like work-wise, which has been quite stressful and taking up a lot of mind space, which is not helping my training, because even during training I find I'm thinking about work, which is really annoying, and I don't like that at all. I'm working on that work situation to change it so that doesn't happen. Look at these smart blokes. Thank you. Sweet. I just want to go straight and they're blocking the roundabout. Good on you guys. Obviously I really want to get those loops with handles on. It's just a little bit more stretch that I'll need. It was great to finally achieve a goal in a sense with those 10 loops, because the last few sessions, they've been tough. I haven't felt particularly pumped, and I also didn't notice any progress, which is to me the hardest thing. As long as I continually see improvement, then I'm on the right track, so it's okay. Today's session was much needed in terms of improvement. Getting used to these morning sessions now, so I'm sure here on they'll be just as good as any other session. Today was another session where I trained with a different coach's class, so it was a much shorter session. I warmed up with 10 reps of roll to straddle sit. I'm now allocating more time to stolder training, as I realized I still need to improve this compression even more to achieve the stolder press goal. Again, I attempted back uprise to handstand today. I still don't have enough heel drive. It seems I need just that little bit more and I'll achieve this goal. I'm still focusing on stopping my shoulder from lagging behind, and you can see a subtle improvement on this today.
Nice.
I was actually trying to do a full twist, and just thinking about the extra twist helped me bring the shoulder around more. I finished the session working stolder press on bars. My feet are dipping below my hands, which would obviously make this impossible on the floor. The goal is to keep my feet above my hands in all parts of this exercise. I warmed up for a big floor session today, starting on the trampoline. I also warmed up front layouts, just focusing on the body shape. The shape is now good. I just need to keep my hands above and in front of my shoulders, so I land with my arms above my head instead of how I currently land with them by my side. I then started warming up front half onto a mat before taking it to the floor alone. This first front half was much better than I thought it would be. It was very close to achieving the goal, though for it to count, I need to land with my feet square, facing the direction that I came from. I realised that the little bit of extra space when having no mat gave me even more time to get my feet around, making it easier in a way. I felt so close to the front half that I just kept pushing for it, going for it over and over again. My technique is still definitely off, as there is a clear moment in the flip where my shoulders stop twisting. I was thinking, with enough attempts, I'll learn what the correct technique feels like. Unfortunately, after spending about 1.5 hours working on this, I still didn't complete a successful front half. Even though I failed today, I was very happy to feel so close to achieving this goal. It is with great disgust that I present another failed back giant. This has been happening less frequently, though I'm ashamed that it's still happening at all. My back giants are definitely improving, with only the first few reps now having bent knees. Unfortunately, I haven't really been able to improve my front giants recently, though I'm still trying to hit the handstand. As you would expect by now, I warmed up rings with the usual sequence. This is my first ever bail on these proper A-frame rings. The rings that I usually do it on have a bit more bounce than usual since the cables are so long. The top of the building actually sort of gives it a bit of give. This A-frame will be a bit tougher, so a bit nervous in the sense that the jerk could be more heavy, but I'm pretty confident I can do it smoothly, so here we go. I'm not feeling very strong or anything today, but I figure I've got to be confident in myself that I can do this, and hence just got to do it anyway, start making it a usual everyday training exercise. That was by no means my best bail, but that was very comfortable. The jerk was completely fine. That's very encouraging. I was a bit second guessing myself, but I just did it. Now I'll do it again with a lot more confidence, should be a lot better. I need to stretch out a bit more on these bails, opening my shoulders more, and have my feet drop a little faster in the initial stage. These were very comfortable, however, which is awesome. As I'm now allocating more time to training shoulder press, I've started training it at home as well. My feet are still quite a bit below my hands, so I still need to improve the compression during the press. I was doing just single reps so that I could focus on compressing my body as hard as I possibly could. This is very satisfying after each set, as I feel awesome tension through the core of my body. This is a damn good core workout. I'm very excited about today's session. We've got a lot of really good gymnasts joining us from different gyms. Just because the place we train at is so good, they're all keen to just, train there as well. This is going to be awesome. It's always really good to train with lots of talented guys, so that'll help push me and make me train even harder. very excited, very keen. This is going to be an awesome session. I'm so eager to just achieve this back up rise to handstand already that I started the session focusing on it.
Oh damn, Corey. I'll get this one.
I still lack the heel drive to get up into handstand, so I decided to work dismounts instead on these failed sets. Today I was training with other gymnasts who could do this skill, so I asked for their advice. They recommended working sets of consecutive back up rises, which I'd never really done before. I found this to be a really nice workout, and I can see how it will help develop power. I asked Corey to demonstrate this for me to help me see firsthand the difference in our technique. It was particularly motivating to see him do the actual skill itself mid-set.
Yeah, nice man.
It looks so simple. We moved on to high bar, where I again started with back giants. The knee bend is still present in my tap, though I feel like I'm now close to changing the habit to instead tap with straight legs. Even though my front giants still aren't really improving, I wanted to work top change today. Not hitting the handstand is making it very difficult to get any push in the turn. Unfortunately, I wasn't even close to this today. Feeling so close to achieving this yesterday, I again focused on the front half. Some of these were really close, though the shoulders are still not twisting properly, making it impossible for me to complete the turn. I continued to get closer and closer to achieving this, though once again, I just wasn't able to land square. This is so frustrating as I feel so close, yet I understand there's a problem with my current technique. For some extra motivation, Tyson just threw one easily without even training it specifically. I don't really know what to say. I've been analysing this skill in depth, training it in various different ways, dedicating huge chunks of sessions to it, and I still can't get the natural shoulder movement. I can't think of any other way to achieve this than to simply keep attempting it on the floor until I finally achieve it. On the bright side, I find watching these countless failures is really motivating, and it just makes me want to train. It was awesome to achieve another goal this week, though now I have just 1 week to achieve the remaining 16 goals, as next week is the final week of this series. I'll be pushing very hard to achieve the remaining goals, so definitely check it out to see what I learn and how much I can achieve in the final week. See you next week for week 10 of the Stronger Gymnastics series.